And let's go, let's go, let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome all to the February 11th edition of the Makers and Movers podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. It is a great day to be alive here in Internet land. How are you doing today, folks? Hump day up in the house. We're busy today. This is the wild time of year. This is what we're planning for in January, and we're going to talk about how this episode really helps with that. And what is today's episode about? Well, today's episode, we're talking about how to sell spiritware when you don't have a storefront. Let me give you a little thing here, and let me tell you, or let me ask you some questions on it. I feel like one of the fastest ways that the at-home apparel decorator talks themselves out of real sales is that quiet internal assumption that I don't have a storefront, so I can't do stuff like this. Now, you may not say it out loud, but you feel like it when you quote. You feel like it when you explain yourself. You feel like it when you hesitate instead of leading. And then because of that hesitation, you start selling around your business instead of from it. And the truth is, that storefronts don't sell spiritware. Certainty does. And so today we're going to talk about how you can sell spiritware confidently without the storefront, and why not having one is only a disadvantage if you let it be. So, anybody feel on that? Now, if it's your first time here, long time here, I need some things out of you: who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area, along with 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? Well, I don't even know where to start. We had 2 more stories that got requested between last night and this morning, so we're up to our eyeballs in stores that need to get done and out there for it. For not promoting anything for now more than 6 months, things are still looking good. So that's what we got. We got store builds to do. We've got banners to quote. We've got sign jobs to quote. Serve us. We've got store builds. We've got banners. I need to get through emails and messages. Emails are pretty close to being cleaned up. They'll be cleaned up here after this. Messages, I will be dead honest with you. I am really bad about Facebook messages recently because of, a lot of it is just like trash messages, people, offer digitizing, wanting, to sell us DTF supplies, wanting to sell us this, wanting to sell us that. And it just got overwhelming. And because it was, for everyone, like, hey, bro, haven't seen you for a while, just checking in to see how you're doing. There's, hey, buy my stuff. Or, hey, can you help me with this issue in the software instead of going through other channels? So I might look at messages once a week, which sucks because I know there's some stuff in there. But at the same time, email in for if you have questions on orders. DM the business page for TRW. Those are the things that are there. So I'm going to get those cleaned up today. And then kids are out early today. We've got orders to pack. And we just got a lot to do. A lot to do. First up, before we get into today's stuff, because you guys are going to get in here and tell me how things are working. But we're going to talk about last night. Last night, Sharon's in here, right? Sharon's in here. Sharon won some stuff last night, right? Mini pack, and you won both, right? Mini pack and the template. What did we make last night? We showed how easy it is in the wizard to take a design and increase it from SS10s to SS16 stones, and just like that. And that's what we created. And look at that. That's neon purple. You can see it back here. And then that's the crystal AB SS16s. So we did that one. So that was fun. And then we did this one, which we showed how to take an existing design and because this one started with just one row of stones around it and adding a scatter to it. Now, if you want to know more how to do those things on the regular, we do have memberships right here on YouTube. You can go up All-Star. You guys, if you sign up for All-Star today, you have a class today. You get one class a month. That's actually today. Hall of Fame, those are Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure, go sign up for it. While we're on the topic of Wizard, service, tech support, and service will end for Wizard 5 in previous versions February 28th. New Corel comes out next month, and there's a great chance that earlier versions of the Wizard besides the subscription one will not work on that. So if you're on a subscription of Corel, Either buy the one you have now, so you're off the subscription, or you need to upgrade because there's a really, really good chance that Wizard is not going to work on it. And that's 5 and older on the new Corel when it comes out. So there's our PSA for the day. Yeah, public service announcement. Yeah, I love that. All right, let's check in. Let's check in. A soul full of crafts. So good morning to you. And Gabriella, good morning. Where are you over in Italy comparative to the Olympics? I thought about you, when I was like, I'm like, wait a minute, we have somebody that's over there. How's the vibe, in Italy with the Olympics? We got Olympics 2 years in LA. And Corey said, what would you think about going out to seeing some Olympics? So we checked into it, and there's actually going to be some reasonably priced tickets for that. And the Summer Olympics are fun. And then 4 years, or what is it? In 36, we have the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. So providing they have snow then. So I think we might have to look at that. Pasha, good morning to you. And Barbara, good morning. And there's Sharon, right? Yeah. Hello, everybody from Gabriella and Alania. Good morning to you. Happy Work It Out Wednesday. That's right, work it out. Where I always took Wednesday was Work on Your Business Wednesday, right? Let's schedule it, schedule a time to do it. When we didn't have the whole TRW thing, that's what we did, was we set it scheduled where it was just work on the business. We had 4 hours blocked out, and that's what we do. So in our mentorship community, we have a call that we'll just keep open all day for them, and they're able to go check that out for it. Claire, good morning to you. And Trina, good morning. And Jerry, home day. Let's see. What's the team or by Rock? What's the team? Good morning to you. And Renee, good morning. 21 Chicago on Water in the Bottle. Tina Cup. It's going to be, do you see Renee next week? I don't know about you, but here we're getting like 60s next week. Ooh, baby. Keith, hey, from the sunny Space Coast. Coffee cup already empty. We are in February. I think they were sent out. I'll check with Pilar Let me write that note. February, because I thought they already were, but I don't know. So I'll check into that for you and let you know. Jerry, hello, Renee. Hey, Jerry and Lania. Hey, Renee and Jerry. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 14 and windy. Water in the cup. 5 things: quotes, 3D printing, sewing alterations, digitizing, invoicing. Very nice. Good morning, Tim. Feeling okay? You don't have a hoodie on. I know, right? But I got the pocket. I got the pocket crew neck on. So I'm halfway there. No hoodie, but I got the pocket. That's what we did. Italy Diet Pepsi and making jewelry for hobby fair. Very nice. The site is wherever we are. Ooh, I like it. I'm really interested. I was using Equid Lightspeed and the price is going up in March. Yeah, anybody that's on Equid, go to Shopify. Like, legit, you can do way more for cheaper. For us in stores, we use Chipley. I will put that in here. It is costly when you first sign up. It can be as much as $1,000 to sign up for it. After that, that's a one-time fee. And you can tell them, they say, we don't get anything from it. I want them to know that we keep sending people to them. So maybe they can give us something. But you can ask them about discounts, what they can do for it. Anybody in here is using Chipley, talk about it in the comments. Super easy to do stores, but then you have that one-time fee, and then they take a percentage of your sales, for credit card processing. That's standard. But then they also get a percentage on the non-personalized items. Yeah. There's a method to the madness. It's like 3%. Super easy to do, and you can have a store built from. Especially, I think once you have a good hang of it, you can have a store built from zero to finished with, say, 200 products in 2 hours. So super rock star with that. And it just makes things way, way easier for it. Barb's getting hellos in there. Talani, Jerry, Renee, and Tim. Tammy Reed, Oklahoma, coffee, nice and sunny today. Pressing softball shirts today. Woo! We've got new baseball and softball rhinestone designs coming here in the next 2 weeks. We've got here in the next week will be 5 more St. Patrick's Day ones. And then I think there's some baseball that's in there. And then it'll be some softball and Easter, I think is how it's going. And what are your spring sports? Because we want to make sure that we're including everybody into it. I think there's even some pickleball coming. Linda Heil, 55 in Central Tech, 55, just rubbing it in. 3D printing, post photos online, photo shoot this afternoon, organize and press orders, edit photos. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, I did. Woohoo! All right. I thought that. I was pretty sure it was you. We self promote, carry the brand in our heads and our hearts. We believe in your skill set, your competency and confidence shines through your. I love this personality, presentation, delivery. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Near Venice, 2 hours away. So that's not bad. 2 hours away. That's like, here to Chicago for us. Good morning to you, Randy, Russeline. Hello. Coffee in a cup of 52. Man, 52 sounds great. Pocket crews are fine. I love them. And it does feel weird not having this. I gotta get cleaned up tomorrow and a haircut, and then when it gets a little chilly. But I hadn't had one on for a while, so we're gonna do it. And good morning, Jerry from Russeline. Um, and when we told from Chipley, we got that in there. I told them you sent me, love it, using it and loving it from Linda. Tim, I love Chipley now that I need to have more stores open other than cheering football season. Yeah. So, gosh, so far it's been pretty easy. If you ever have set up a Shopify or web store, it is pretty easy. I love it. Hi, Barb. What's the haps? Hope all is well with the family. Hope all is well with it. Okay, so what do you say we get right into it? All right. Number one for all this is, a storefront, does feel like legitimacy, but, it's a lie that schools tell themselves when they're nervous. That was kind of wordy. What does that all mean? Well, here's a belief that quietly sabotages at home apparel decorators before a conversation even starts. Schools think that they want a storefront because that's what legitimate businesses have. On the surface, that belief does make sense. A building does feel official, a sign does feel permanent, a door you can walk into feels safe. So when you don't have one, you assume that you're already behind. But that belief isn't logic, it's really anxiety. And it's not actually how schools make decisions when stakes are real. Schools don't choose storefronts because storefronts work better. They choose them because when they're unsure, a building feels like something that they can point to if things go wrong. It gives that psychological cover. We went with a real shop. And that's not about quality. That's about fear. So this is where this truth hurts you. When you internalize that belief, you start selling against yourself. You over explain being home based. You apologize. You add discounts or extras to make up for it. And the second you do that, you introduce doubt before the customer you ever had any to begin with. Because now they're not asking, can you handle the spiritware? They're wondering, why does this feel a little weird? Right? And that's the loss. So some examples. A PTO chooses a storefront because it felt official. Guess what? Orders arrive late, sizes are wrong, emails go answered, and distribution turns into chaos. The next season, you stop asking about buildings and start asking who can actually handle this cleanly. All right. Another example. School administration never asks where you're located because you clearly outline your timelines, your approvals, and your delivery. The storefront question never even comes up because certainty it already exists. So here's the action step. Stop defending your location. Lead with certainty. Explain how orders flow, how problems are handled, and how deadlines are protected before location is ever even discussed. All right. Number two, online stores solve more school problems than storefronts ever did. Eh, Another assumption that quietly works against you is, well, not having a storefront makes it harder to order. What? That belief comes from thinking like a maker, not like a school. Schools don't want convenience for you, they want convenience for everyone else who is involved. You know, Parents don't want to have to drive across town. Teachers don't want to have to collect forms. PTOs don't want to have to chase checks, sizes, or keep sending out reminders. Every step lowers participation. And when participation drops, the fundraiser looks like a failure. And that's the real fear that schools carry. When you don't position your online store correctly, Schools assume that they're losing something by not having a physical place to send people. But when you explain it properly, they realize that they're gaining something far more valuable, less work, right? And when schools sense less work, man, resistance really does start to disappear. The mistake that many at home apparel decorators make is treating online stores like a workaround instead of the solution. When you downplay it, customers mentally downgrade you. When you lead with it, it becomes the easiest option in the room. So, some examples. A PTO switches vendors after realizing parents ordered more when they could buy from their phone without reminders. You know, Another example: a school chose a home-based decorator because the online store eliminated cash handling and sizing mistakes. Right? We're solution providers. That's what we are. So, action step for this is frame your online store as a participation booster, not as a compromise. This is what we do. This is how we rock and roll with it. This is what you have. Number three, communication is the storefront when you don't have one, right? And this is something that we could all underestimate. The storefront, it's substitute for communication. If you don't have one, your communication is the storefront. Response time, clarity, proactive updates, ownership when something goes wrong. When communication is weak, customers crave a building. When communication is strong, location becomes irrelevant. You know, at home at home apparel decorators, lose sales when they assume being home based means that they need to prove legitimacy instead of proving reliability. Schools don't need access to a counter. They need access to answers. And when communication fails, they don't say this person works from home. They say this sucks. This feels risky. This feels weird. All right. So examples of this: a home-based decorator wins repeated contracts by responding within hours and sending weekly updates. This is it. Just can respond. You know. Another example: storefront loses trust because no one answers emails during peak season. That's what we're trying to negate right now. We are coming up. We do everything in January to set up for spring, and things are coming in. So we're got to make sure that everybody is getting answered, that everything is there, so nobody feels left out or behind. Worst, they go somewhere else because somebody else is answering. So for this step, audit your response time and clarity. That is your front desk. That's what we are doing today to make sure we're caught up and nothing has fallen through the cracks, because there is a lot that has come in and it can go on the board. Now, before we move on to 4 and 5, any questions, comments, concerns that we have in there? 100% COVID proved that working from home works. Absolutely. Communication is key. Access to the answers. I'm using it. Yes. Use away. I want to see everybody succeed. There's no reason you can't. The only thing stopping you from succeeding is you. Like, you're your own worst enemy. You're the one who doesn't think you're good enough. You're the one who doesn't think your product's good enough. You're the one who makes up excuses for it. Just stop making excuses and just do it. You know how many times we failed? I lost count. I don't even count. Why? Because it happens regularly where things just don't work the way they wanted to. Jobs just don't go the way you planned. You just suck it up and you learn and you move on. And that's the thing. Every mistake is just a learning opportunity. You're going to make them. What you do with that mistake is what matters. All right, back into it. Number 4, distribution and logistics matter way more than a physical pickup location. And this is where fear can quietly stall sales. You know, Makers worry, what if they want to pick up in person? So they hesitate, they over explain, they sound unsure. But most schools don't want pickups. They want distribution handled cleanly. And when you can offer delivery to the school, and sorting by classroom, or bulk purchasing, or shipped directly to the parent, the lack of a storefront becomes irrelevant. When you are not explaining logistics, you know, when you don't explain logistics, customers just imagine chaos, and imagine chaos pushes them towards whoever looks established. With us, we have options. They can deliver to the school, where they can put in the teacher's name, their teacher's name, and we can have it just there and drop off at the school. They distribute. They can have it shipped to home. There's that. We give the PTOs the opportunity. What would you like to do? Well, we want to be picked up at the school. We want to have the option here. Great. We can do either one of those for you. Never once does anybody want to pick up in person. Why? Because nobody, I have yet to find anybody in the many years of doing this saying, well, I wanted to pick it up in your store. I wanted to take time out of my day to come drive and pick it up to you. You mean when we can just ship it to you or ship to the school? Oh, wow. Yeah, I would just rather have that because it saves them time. We are the solution provider. So, example this, a decorator wins a contract by delivering sorted goods directly to the school. You know, Another example, storefront loses a school after a disorganized pickup and created parent complaints. We went to a store, we didn't know what the hell is going on. So, for this action step, let's lead how orders get into the hands of the people who place those orders, not where they're produced. That's what we're doing. You order, store open 2-3 weeks. Once that store closes, everything is ordered 7 to 10 business days. Everything gets shipped out or delivered to the school. Done. So beginning to end, 4 to 5 weeks, depending on what they decide on. All right. Number 5, confidence is what makes home-based invisible. So the truth is that this is the truth that most most at-home apparel decorators avoid. You know, Customers sense hesitation immediately. When you apologize for being home based, they wonder what else you're a little unsure about. When you speak calmly and confidently, they stop questioning things that don't actually matter. You know, a storefront doesn't automatically create trust. Confidence does. When you believe that your system works, guess what? Your customers will too. If you treat your home base as a disadvantage, guess what? They'll follow your lead. And that's how the capable decorators lose work when they're fully equipped to handle it. You can just do it. That's it. You know? So example, a decorator confidently explains their process and location never once comes up. Another decorator over explains being home based and introduces doubt when none ever existed in the first place. So for this action step, just remove home based from your vocabulary unless asked, and then answer it calmly if it comes up. Right? So to recap all this, schools buy certainty, not buildings. Online stores outperform physical ones for spiritwear. Strong communication replaces the need for a storefront. Clear logistics matter more than that sign on the door, and confidence makes location irrelevant. Right? So if you've been holding yourself back because you don't have a storefront, I need you just to turn everything off for just a second and just hear this clearly. Your customers are not buying square footage. They're buying reliability. They're buying relief, and they're buying someone who makes spiritwear easy for them. You do not need a building to sell spiritwear. You know what you need? Systems, clarity, and the confidence to lead. And that, my friends, is what we have for you today on this February 11th edition of the Makers and Movers podcast. Up next, what do we have up next? Let me go look and see what we're gonna do on Friday, on Valentine's Day Eve. We're talking about we are talking about acting like a vendor, act like a partner. Vendors get replaced, but partners, they get rebooked. And I feel a lot of at-home apparel decorators think that they lose customers because of price or competition, and more often than not, it's because they're being treated like a vendor and not like a partner. We're going to talk about what actually keeps teams, schools, PTOs, and leagues coming back season after season after season, and why acting like an order taker makes you really easy to replace. Like I said, on the finished goods side of things, we made that decision that when we purchased TRW in July, that we were not going to push any of that. We took the spring, and actually going into the spring, we said we're not going to mess with any of that because we know we're already going to be busy enough. not sought out any new business. We have not promoted it, pushed it, done anything. All the clients that we had last year, we haven't lost one yet. They keep coming back, and in fact, a few more of those clients have sub-clients that have why we did something for one sport. Hey, we heard you did a great job with what was the one with soccer? Or no, with the football. Can you help us out with soccer? Yeah, not a problem. Here it is. So we're not actively seeking things. Just be confident in what you're doing with that. All right, let's see what else we have in here. Go back and watch the replay. You missed like probably 3, 4, and 5. Not sure. Not sure where you went off to. It's a good coffee. It's a good coffee with a Teddy Graham simple syrup. Teddy Graham simple syrup. Ristaroo and Jaded Coffee did pretty good on that. I know, Jerry, you are not alone in that. Over communicate. And, sometimes we just have to, what we have to do, say what we say, and then just wait for the answer. You just ask and just wait. I know it's tough. It is so tough. Come from Jibba Jabba me. I'm telling you. People are too busy with the world to stop what they're doing and go to a store. Absolutely. COVID changed so much in the world besides just, being COVID. Look how much deliveries, at-home deliveries, streaming services. Like now, we actually save money by signing up for grocery delivery. Why? Because one, I don't do stores. I don't like, I'm not a people person. People are my way. No matter what aisle I'll go down to, there's the one with, that's sitting in the cart in the middle on both sides. And you have to be like, hey, can we like, I just want my stuff and to go. And then I'm not like, oh, I got this, and there's 37 bags of cookies in there. And I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Because I was allowed in a store. When I'm doing grocery delivery, just hit the buttons and stuff just shows up. I don't have a chance to buy all that other stuff, and things just happen. So, yeah, delivery, we just don't have time for it. That's me buying back my time. I'm sure it may cost me what I don't even know what it costs, but it's definitely worth me not having to go to the store and deal with that. Good customer service review. Those are always going to do. Storefront is a waste of resources. Do you go to the Amazon store? I'll agree with that. Do you go to the Amazon store? Now, there are instances where it it makes sense. If that's where your market is going to. I know a lot of people that they have the storefront because they need the space for it, and so they have a little storefront. And like our first storefront was by appointment only, and we didn't allow walk-ins because we didn't want that. And we could set up meetings, we could set up times, but there wasn't just a walk-in and get the stuff. And we went to the mall, that changed, and that's when we realized this really sucks because you need to have somebody running a storefront because of the orders that come in, the people that come in, the things that you have to do. And now looking for the new future home of TRW, we'll have a storefront. Why? Because we sell physical goods. They're not custom made items. So all of our products will be able to be in shop, and it makes sense. So yeah. And systems are key. Yes, they are. I do more business since getting rid of my storefront. Us too. Like it was a big thing. Like to get rid of it. COVID. We haven't had a storefront now for just about 6 years, right? We signed that lease on what was it? May or February 20, no, it was like March 3rd or something. We signed that lease for it. We came back. We were only open for 11 days, and then we got shut down. And then that was it. We never reopened the storefront. And like the stress of it went away, and I'm right there with it. Relationship, you build consistency. Absolutely. Waiting sinks, you just wait for the answer. Yep, here's this. Reach out. Any other information I can give you? We don't need to over-explain stuff. We just got to get it. Okay. With that, we're going to wrap this up. Mentorship community, your call starts in a half an hour. Everybody else, we'll open that up in March. We're working through some things, and it'll be Patreon. You'll have you'll be able to get into it. We do calls 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Pretty much right after this. Wednesday is a longer one. They have a Discord that goes along with it. Tons of great information there. Price will be like $40, I think is what it is. So look for that. We'll get that set up. That's on the list, but we got stuff we got to take care of. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Remember, we do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure to go hit the button wherever it is. There's buttons for like and subscribe. There's also buttons. I think there's like some boost button where you can send it out to people. That's always appreciated because, it's free to watch. So thank you so much for this. You guys have an amazing day. And until next time, peace, love, press on, and we'll see you then. Got to hit the